All right. Train to Busan today on Movie Club. Let's go. Train to Busan is a 2016 Korean film about, well...
That was the question I was asking because I had no idea. I thought...
Yeah. I'm not going to spoil it, actually. So
I thought...
the whole episode.
Let me tell you what I thought.
I'm never going to tell you what is on the train.
I had a vibe when you told me the title, had not heard of this movie, didn't watch the trailer, just hit start, whatever. And I was like, is this going to be like... what's that one they just released, like Death on the Nile or Murder on the Orient Express?
Yeah. The Agatha Christie murder mystery?
Yes. I'm like, this is going to be like a mystery type train situation.
Murder on the Korean Express.
Maybe a little bit of Snowpiercer mixed in, a little class warfare. We'll see. That's not what I got. I mean,
you did get all that stuff.
I guess I did. I did. In some ways, I did.
For some reason, I thought this was like a movie about I swear I heard of a movie that sounded just like this title, where it was like a romantic kind of movie.
Yeah, that's Train to Busan, which is a parody of this film that we'll be reviewing next week on our
Train to Busan,
our new series, Adult Movie Club.
Oh my goodness!
I still don't know what Bussy is. Can somebody explain this to me? Okay, email Rocco so he can show me. Anyways, I picked this movie. I was just perusing the Shudder catalog. I'm the one guy who subscribes to Shudder.
I know a few people that do. Dig it.
Hey, Shudder is $5 a month. Yeah. They don't sponsor this show, but they should, because I'm going to plug them right now.
Mm-hmm.
$5 is cheaper than 85% of the streaming services out there, and Shudder is exclusively horror films. I subscribed to it a few years ago, and it sucked. It was the worst. They didn't have it. It was like the worst. You know, horror films could get pretty bad.
Yeah, sure.
But the worst of the worst are horror films. It's real bottom of the bucket. And that's how it was when it started. So I canceled, but I'm back now because their catalog actually has like really well-made stuff. The Halloween movies, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, all the classics. So I was scrolling and Train to Busan was on there, and I'd always heard of this movie. But like you guys, I didn't know what it was about, so I popped it on.
Mm-hmm.
I went in cold. I was really entertained.
I'm going to say this. I'm so glad I did not know it was a zombie movie.
Spoiler.
When I started it, because I would have probably rolled my eyes like, oh.
I thought the same thing.
Yeah.
And as I'm going to give my first kind of compliment to this movie too, it unfolds in a very organic way, as opposed to get ready for a fucked up horror movie. You know what I mean? Like in your face, it doesn't. It unfolds very organically. So I'm there along with the people in the movie.
Yes. Me neither.
Like, excuse me, should they be getting on the?
Yeah, exactly. Most zombie movies start with a bang, like you know, Dawn of the Dead remake, the 2005 Dawn of the Dead remake, I think was a very popular zombie movie that is like a bloody little girl invades your house and starts eating your husband, and you go outside and the world is fucked.
Yeah.
Immediately, yeah. And then, you know, you have your more traditional zombie movies, which this kind of takes the route of, but in an interesting way, where there's like news stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you watch a movie like Shaun of the Dead, he's kind of going about his life, but there's like all this stuff on the news happening in the background. This, it kind of unfolds in the background, but not even as like news stories. It's almost like the characters are very much not aware of this growing problem.
And that, and I also was unaware, but then you see like that person get tackled outside, like, what the fuck was that? And then like, even when the train, they get on the train and then the girl gets on and she's infected, but I don't know what's wrong with her.
Yeah.
So like, was she just beaten up? Like, what happened to her?
There's a lot of little moments in the beginning. The beginning of the movie is kind of slow, especially if you don't know there's zombies.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this guy is estranged from his daughter and they just don't get along.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the main character's name. I don't know the names of the actors. I'm sorry.
I have a list of all that right here.
I'm not even going to try to pronounce these
that's
Korean
true.
names.
You know what? You're right. What am I going to say?
But the main character, you may recognize him from Squid Game.
He was in Squid Game? I haven't seen that either.
You should check out Squid Game. It's good. You have a whole lot of Korean movies and TV shows to deep dive.
I've heard this, yes.
For people who have seen Squid Game, he is the guy who recruits the main character in the subway with the slapping game. Did you see Squid Game, Rocco?
No, I skipped it too.
I'm the only one who's culturally
I had
relevant.
to mute Squid Game off of Twitter because
Why?
I was seeing a post about it every 30 seconds at a point in my life, and it didn't look bad to me. But I was seeing spoilers all day long. There were people just posting about that all day. So I was like, I'll hold up. I'm gonna mute this and watch it like next year.
Well, it's been a year, so now is the time to revisit
Yeah,
it.
I would be down.
It's I think you'll like it. Okay, well, main character's in Squid Game. He's a businessman. He's a young businessman, and he's kind of estranged from his ex-wife, actually. And they're 5 to... No, she's not 5.
No.
She's probably like 9.
Yeah, to me, you know what? That was my guess. Both my girls, well, 3, but Lennon is 8, Sawyer's 10, and I felt like she was right in the middle of that, like right there.
Nailed it. Her mother lives in Busan, which, by the way, is the second biggest city in South Korea after their capital, Seoul.
Mm-hmm.
So Busan is like LA to New York, right? It's the number 2 biggest city. That's where mom lives. And so the little girl doesn't even want to spend time with her dad. She is willing to take this train by herself to Busan to see her mom. But the father, who is so strange, he's trying to reconnect with his daughter. He insists, I'm going to take you. But the reason that they're estranged is because he's like he's a young businessman and he's becoming a ruthless businessman.
He also seems like he's like in a position of he's making money, he's making power moves. He's a big guy, you know.
Yeah, it's not really clear to me what his job is, but
Right.
he's like connected with the government in some way.
Yeah.
He's wealthy, he's well-to-do. He's a power player, right? So they get on this train to Busan. There's a lot of scenes early on when they're like just hanging out, and again, it kind of hints at the growing impending disaster. They're in a car at one point, and like a bunch of cop cars drive by and a bunch of ambulances,
Right.
and they're just like, wonder what's going
It
on.
also seems like the girl is the one who notices anything. Like she's the one looking out the windows and seeing all this weird shit. The dad's sleeping already, you know, like all that stuff too. Like she sees that, but it's like, well, if a kid says something like that, you're like, okay, and he's, you know, it's fine.
Yeah.
Brush him off is what he was doing.
The movie probably goes a good 30 minutes before like the action starts. Maybe even longer, maybe even 40 minutes. We get I appreciate that the movie took the time to do this.
Yeah.
Because it went on to become such a crazy, violent movie. I really like that they gave you an extended period of just slice of life, you know, riding the trains in Korea. Yeah, what'd you think?
Well, I was going to say, I also think it does such a great job kind of coalescing with one of the main kind of things you see throughout the movie. You know, it's like the people kind of caught in the patterns of their life. You know what I mean? Down to the dad, you know, he's so robotic visiting his kid. He gets her gift. Oh, you already bought me this like months ago. Oh, you know, like everyone's caught in their tunnel, so to speak. We're not talking trains just yet, but you know what I mean? Like everyone's caught in that thing to the point that you have a fucking zombie movie beginning next to them and they're, it's just, you know, yeah, I think they were wise to let the first half hour, however long, just exist in that, where it's just kind of monotonous, and it just made the rest of it that much stronger. I loved that. It took its time with that. I'm always a fan of that.
So I love horror movies. I watch a lot of zombie movies, and I feel like this is a great zombie movie. Oftentimes, the zombies are not necessarily the bad guy. It's other humans who are the bad guy in zombie movies.
That's true.
Zombies are more of like a force of nature. You can't be mad at the zombies.
They don't want to be zombies.
Yeah, they're victims of something that they can't control. It's like a bad hurricane hitting you. You can't be mad at the storm, but you're mad at the other people who screw you in the middle of the storm. And I feel like a lot of times in the past, it's often come down to racism. Zombies are an allegory for like race relations, even back in the original Night of the Living Dead. It's very much like a white person versus black person thing. In this movie, the cultural commentary, I feel like, and maybe you guys agree or disagree, it's more like the businessmen are the bad guys. The wealthy people are the bad guys, which that's got to be the biggest reoccurring theme in Korean cinema. After trains and having to fight your way through a confined space, 1 versus 100.
Hey, it works.
Those 3 things are in every great movie coming out of Korea recently. But yeah, the kind of bad guys in this movie are it's like this old businessman who's very much out for himself. And so our main character is a young businessman who's like at risk of turning into this
maybe
type
becoming
of person.
that. Yeah.
But his daughter is the one who is holding him back. And she point blank tells him at one point in the movie, you don't care about people. And she starts crying. And to me, that was kind of what this movie boiled down to, was when the shit is hitting the fan and the world is falling apart, the true villains are the people who are only looking out for themselves, who are like, hey, I'm taking care of myself, fuck everybody else. They actually cause more damage, and they actually exude more villainy than the zombies.
I mean, so many characters that you end up loving die because of people.
Yeah.
You know, and their selfishness, you know.
Yeah. And it's a recurring theme throughout the movie. We could talk about it more. But real quick, I want to say that the first half hour before the zombies show up, they kind of take some time to introduce a big cast of characters. This is an ensemble cast film. So real quick, the characters would be the dad and the daughter. You have a really buff athletic guy and his pregnant wife. You have, is your mom calling? Yeah. I put my phone in the other room this episode. You have a whole baseball team.
Yeah.
And like the young, like, she's not a cheerleader. She's like a girlfriend of one of the guys on the team. Some college students. Old businessman.
I was just going to say, I didn't know that girl you were just talking about was in a K-pop group.
Yeah, she's like a
former member.
Yeah.
She looks like a pop star.
Yeah.
I thought I'd seen her in something. Wonder Girls? I was not familiar with Wonder Girls.
They got the girl from Wonder Girls in here. Some elderly sisters.
Then they have the homeless guy.
Yes, there's a homeless man who gets on the train. There are the staff who runs the train, some train attendants, and the conductor. And I feel like I'm missing a final main character. We already said the homeless guy.
Yeah.
Well, it's an ensemble cast. And what I found interesting was,
I think you got it. I think it was just the other guy who like runs the company or the train company or who the fuck that guy was.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
That's all I can think of.
But I don't know what he actually did.
yeah. So we meet all these characters, and they all get on the train, and the staff are the first people to realize that something is wrong because they have like a strange person on the train hiding in one of the bathrooms. And when they go and investigate, they find that it's actually a homeless person who is like completely traumatized, like PTSD to the max, trembling and muttering about how everyone's dead and they're all dead. This movie, why I liked it so much was it expertly played with people's expectations. I feel like you think this is a zombie movie, and so, we have somebody on the train, and you think it's going to be somebody infected. It's not an infected person.
Yeah.
I
was fully, with the homeless guy, I was fully ready for like, I didn't know anything about the movie, so I was fully ready for like eggs come out of his back or something. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, what's this guy going to turn into?
Yeah. But there is an infected person. It's like a girl, and she pretty much quickly dies on the train, turns into a zombie, and the first person to interact with her is an attendant, a train attendant, and she like mauls her to death. And pandemonium breaks out pretty much instantly.
Yeah, as it would in real life.
These are fast-moving zombies. They make biting sounds. Their teeth are chomping.
I thought that, I could see that they sped up the footage. Like, that was pretty obvious. But I thought that the actors contorted their bodies in very convincing ways.
Yeah.
I was like, these are
They
pretty
were
impressive.
They were like ballet dancers, basically.
Yeah.
Or would, and I think was a nice touch too. That plus they would like hit walls really hard and things that are like, don't do that with your body, please don't. That truly felt inhuman. Like,
Yeah.
You're just stubbing over this and slamming into that. It just felt.
There's even one part where they jump, like the zombies like fall like hard onto these like huge rocks. Like, oh fuck, that sucks. Like, I just think for the actors, like, wow, they were going for it.
Well,
I felt multiple times.
it was coupled with really good special effects,
Yes.
CG effects,
yeah.
where it was like fake, bodies piling over each other, almost like a
Yes.
wave of human bodies.
Yes.
When the zombies would come for you.
Yeah.
So the zombies, it breaks out on the train immediately, and you get a lot of like really violent action scenes. And I love that they took the time to introduce you to these characters because you kind of don't want to see anything bad happen to any of them.
Right.
Yeah.
The married, the pregnant woman and her husband.
Even the
two
husband,
sisters.
you don't. They first zombie attack. They let the husband and the wife in at the last second, but then the husband's mad at the main businessman or the dad.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, fuck this guy. But then, like, it builds enough time that you end up, like, loving him at the end. And it's just like...
They become friends.
You
yeah.
are like, I fucking hate you. You can go die. Fuck off. But then, to like, half hour later, I'm like, oh, don't kill him. Like, it's they did a good job with that.
Yeah. Once the zombies are attacking people on the train, they're able to isolate them in a certain portion of the train and find safety, but the groups are split up. I don't want to spoil too much of the movie because I do think it's an enjoyable movie.
Oh, I think we should spoil it. I think people have already seen it. If they're watching this, pause it here if you haven't seen it and go watch it.
Go watch it. Well, I'll spoil anything that needs to be spoiled, but I won't unnecessarily spoil points of the movie. But people get separated on the train. The main character is trying to call his contacts to see what's happening. Nobody really knows what's happening. It's happening all over the country. And so they decide to go to a nearby city that is not Busan, where his contact kind of assures him, like, this place is safe. The army's there. They'll quarantine you.
Right. And it seemed like they didn't want to be quarantined. And that was like a bad thing. And I was thinking, like, am I missing something, like, translation-wise or something? Because, like, I would feel like I would want to be quarantined away from this. Or are they...
you don't quarantine. You quarantine people who are infected or potentially infected.
Right, but they're not infected. So it would be like, well, I'm not infected, so I'll...
Yeah, but you're going to be put in with the other
infected
people who are
people.
infected.
Okay.
So you do not
They're
want to be, you don't want to be quarantined.
I see.
Because you're going to be in
get
there
it
with
now.
people who are sick.
Okay.
Because they're trying to catch the sick people.
Right.
Right.
So
So the train stops there, and they've been assured this place is safe, and it's everywhere they've been is like been severely under attack, and this place is very quiet, a little bit too quiet. They get off the train, but they have to leave the zombies that they've locked in on the train. This is like almost my favorite part of the movie. I don't know. I really enjoyed this scene in the movie. I always like when, you get to the ghost town and something's wrong, but you don't know what it is.
Right.
The group sticks together except for our main character. He splits off to go by himself because he has, some insider information. Mm-hmm. And the only other person who goes with him is the homeless guy.
Because he heard the phone call that he was having with his daughter.
Yeah, but to me, there was some symbolism here where this isn't even necessarily a movie about rich people versus poor people, because the main character is wealthy, but there's a homeless character who often mimics his behavior. Mm-hmm. The main character and the homeless guy are the only two who split off from the group. I think this movie is more about compassionate people versus selfish people.
I could see that.
And those two guys are looking out for themselves.
Yes.
While everybody else is kind of like, come on, guys, we're all going to get through this together.
Right.
Yeah. And so there is like a classist element to this movie, but it's more a movie about compassion, about sticking together. This shit hits the fan once again. They find that the army is totally infected and it all breaks out, and they have to escape the train station, which is a harrowing escape.
Yeah. And you follow so many characters that you kind of forget where people are at some points, and you kind of get a little like stressed. I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, but where's the girl? Like, where's the little girl? What is happening to her? Yeah. But it's I don't know. They did a good job with that.
They purposely used this scene to uncouple all the couples and to shuffle the cast, where now the people who were together are separated. What were you gonna say?
No, the train's in motion.
Yeah.
Metaphorically and literally.
Mm-hmm.
And having everybody be separate just adds.
This first part, I thought, like, when they all got separated and they're on the train, I'm like, dude, that's fucking crazy. Like, I'm just putting myself in this position of like, what, you don't know what's going on. Oh, it's fucking zombies. Like, what the fuck? Like that. But then my thought was like, the last place I want to go to is another city. Like, stop the train in the middle of nowhere and let me get out, and then I'll be there. And then send the train with the zombies, keep going. I'll just be alone in the wilderness then. that was what I wanted them to do. I know I had to bring that up right now. I just was thinking about that. In that moment, I kept thinking, go to the wilderness. Go somewhere that's not a city.
Yeah, I think these people are all trying to like get to their family members.
I can see that.
They're just caught in the middle of their day.
Sure.
I don't think they were prepared for survival. I think they were just, going to work, going shopping, and all this shit just hit the fan. And they don't know where to go. They're totally unprepared.
Yeah.
No water. Your phone's on 40%. You wore your bad shoes today. Caught with your pants down.
Yeah.
So the couples get uncoupled and the groups get shuffled up. So the guy loses his daughter, the husband loses his pregnant wife, and the baseball boyfriend loses his girlfriend. All the girls kind of get paired up and go in one part of the train with another group, and the three guys get separated. And now we get a classic, we have to fight our way through a small, closed quarters, hand-to-hand combat scene.
And use a big fish as a weapon. Oh, that's not.
That's Snowpiercer. And use a hammer as a weapon. Nah, that's Old Boy.
Baseball bat.
They do use a baseball.
Okay.
Yeah, they use a baseball bat this time. Yeah, the movie kind of turns into a fun romp, I think, in the second half.
I mean, I don't know, romp. It was, I was fucking stressed.
I like zombie movies.
Yeah.
Side note, I think zombie movies are fun romps. They're gonzo.
They are gonzo.
It's like you're gonna see 100 people get eaten to death in a flaming inferno.
That doesn't sound like a romp to me.
I can pop some. I had cooked the popcorn and kicked back like I'm about to see a spectacle.
Why were they taping their wrists? I kept wondering that. They kept like before the
in case
fight.
they got bit.
Oh,
Because they were, plowing their.
So if they got
through like that,
bit
so
there, it's gonna knock
by
it.
your arms.
They could stick something in the
dude,
mouth.
put it in your
of the
fucking
person.
neck too. That's like
you gotta tape yourself
tape
all
that
up.
shit up. Yeah, I also did like them going the scene where they open up the cabin door to get to their respective girls.
Yeah.
And it's his baseball team that were all zombies was heavy. I was like, that fucking sucks. Like that's all his friends who are now trying to kill him. He has to hit with baseball bats. Oh. Also, I was glad they went to the luggage and like got like any weapons they could find, and that they got more baseball bats. I was like, yeah, find something. You gotta get yourself out of the situation.
Yeah, that actually for me was one like kind of plot hole because there's a lot of like hand-to-hand combat with zombies in this movie, and I'm like, well, did the zombies feel pain? There's a scene where they're fighting their way through the zombies, and this guy has a shield, and he's like hitting the toes of the zombies to get them to step back. And I was like, oh, the zombies like don't hurt my toes.
I thought,
ouch, my toes.
That would make them like fall over, maybe, and maybe it doesn't hurt them. But that was fucking gross. That part in particular, I was like, ooh, the toes, yikes.
Yeah, the movie had a lot of like little details that where you're like, ooh, I don't know. Eventually, they do make it to Busan. There's a lot of they kind of establish some rules in this movie. For example, if the zombies can't see you, they kind of don't they get passive.
They kind of forget what they're doing.
Yeah, they get peaceful. And the how you can make them not see you is very like it doesn't take a lot to blind a zombie. This movie shows like throwing a jacket over a zombie's head will get them to stop attacking you. Putting newspaper up on a window will get them to stop attacking you. Even if the train goes into a tunnel and it's a little too dark, the zombies will not attack.
I also liked how like they don't know how to use a door. Like the door's not locked, but it doesn't matter because they can't open it.
They can't even accidentally open it.
Right.
The groups are separated and they're making their way back to each other, but the rich old man, he's kind of calling the shots and he won't let the group come back in because he's an asshole.
Dude.
Fucking rich old men.
This guy, I was thinking like this maybe I don't think I've hated someone in a movie in a long time than this fucking guy. This was such a villain. Well done. Because fuck that guy.
But he could have been the hero of his own movie,
Ugh.
He's just trying to make it to Busan.
I think about that every now and then. Who's the person I hate the most? And I gotta go tie with that Amon Goth guy, however you say his name, Schindler's List.
Oh.
And
Amon
that
Goth?
fucker- And that is that how you say his name?
Yeah, I think so.
And that fucker in The Patriot. We're gonna watch the Patriot.
I've never seen the
Benedict
Patriot.
Arnold or
No, whatever. You hung out with him at the.
Oh, my best friend.
convention.
yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he played. What was the Harry Potter guy?
He was Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah.
I like when this is funny. Like, I think of most hated movie villains, probably the main Nazi from Schindler's
Well, how do you
List.
top that?
It comes to the top of the list.
That's pretty bad.
I gotta say,
No?
didn't really agree with that guy's
Yeah.
logic.
He's constantly pissing me off.
Every scene with that guy is like, dude, just stop, bro, chill. I have to agree with you. I have to agree with you on that.
You know,
one.
though, as you're talking about compassion earlier,
Yeah.
I feel like every single character learned that by the end, except for this fuck,
Which makes him the villain.
which makes him the villain. And but his compassion was so like psycho that like so willingly to throw someone else in the train of path of zombies to get him escaped. It's just like without a second thought, like doesn't even give a fuck. Like that was wild.
Yeah. He's over here on this side of the spectrum where it's a dog eat dog world and it's going to be you and not me. And then our main character is over here, which is like, well, my daughter before me, always.
Right.
So it all comes to a head when pretty much, now this I'm going to spoil, pretty much everybody dies in this movie. Except for daughter, pregnant wife, dad, rich old man. The rich old man literally gets the train engine by himself, and he's like, I'm just fucking driving this bitch on my own.
You know, when the buff guy dies,
Yeah.
I was like really sad about it.
Me too.
Yeah, you're supposed to be.
I was, and it was like
He's the Han Solo.
he is, and it's like I really hated you half
He's the
hour ago.
Sirius-
I
he's the Sirius
really
Black.
hated you, and now look at you, like you're saving the day for everyone. You're naming your unborn child who you're never gonna meet, Heartbreak City. It was good. That got me.
I love a character. It's a great movie when you have that character, the tough guy friend. He's not the main character,
Right.
but he could be the main character. He could kick the main character's ass.
I thought I read, and I don't know if I have the note here, that guy was the director's real life personal trainer.
Yeah.
I think, which I think is a cool thing to put in this role movie. He was good.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the rich old guy or whatever,
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I'm trying to think if I brain farted here, but he survived? Didn't they encounter him at the end?
They do.
They do.
It's the final showdown. It's
okay,
they're
that's what I thought.
they're
You
the,
think? Well,
they're the
what-
last. They're the last four people
What
on the
happens
train.
when the fucking our heroes meet up with the rest of the survivors, and then the rest of the survivors are fucking assholes and kick them out of their car because they think they're infected, and that guy's kind of the head of all that. Then they leave that room, and I thought, well, that room is fucked, and they were. Everyone died. So you think, but then that one businessman and a conductor's,
I had a brain fart as you were talking. I was like, wait, did you say he got away in the movie? But in the moment, in that
It does come down to the final four, which is main character, his daughter, the pregnant woman, kind of versus the businessman, and again the symbolism of the individual versus the group.
Yeah.
And the group takes care of each other, and the individual loses.
Versus an employee versus someone with a family versus a child. It really is.
This movie, why I like this movie so much is it kind of hits all of the archetypes in a very tight, fast-paced way. It's a zombie movie. It has social commentary. It's rich versus poor. It's also selfish versus selfless and thinking about the group. You do have like the Han Solo character. You have the parent-child relationship. You have the husband and wife relationship. You have the boyfriend-girlfriend relationship. You have the friend and the team relationship. You have the boss and the employee relationship.
yeah.
This movie, has everything there. And at the end, it comes down to personal sacrifice for the greater good. And so the father gets into a fight, on the train with the businessman, and they kind of both die. The businessman is a zombie at this point, and he is taken out, but the father is bit. And so he will become a zombie pretty soon.
That scene of him talking to his daughter for the last time.
Got you?
I can't, you guys.
That's shocking.
Fucking Jesus Christ. This little girl, I'm even getting like, this thing about it, I'm getting like a little, whoa. This little girl was such a great actress. Her crying really affected me. And she was so sad. And it was really real. And I was like, yo, this girl is too good. Like, be a worse actress. I don't care this much. She was so good in this scene.
Yeah, she was. That's it.
I mean, well, the guy jumped.
Roll credits.
Well, no, here's the no. This is my thought of the movie. Before this ending scene, I had no idea where I was going to rank the movie, Shakers wise. I thought this for me, and I'm not doing Shakers now, but like this for me, if a zombie movie, this is a 5 shaker
Made you cry?
for a zombie movie. Like this is as good as you can get for that genre of film for me. But with the ending, it's them walking through a train tunnel, and then you see people who are like actually like not infected, who are the military, who are like have a perimeter. It's salvation. Yeah. And I thought, if this is a Mist ending, if those of you have seen The Mist, the guy kills
the Mist. Yeah.
He kills his son and then kills himself, and then the military shows up to save the day.
We just spoiled a movie that people didn't. We didn't tell them to watch.
You know what? I did you a fucking favor. If it was that, I would have been livid. I would have been so fucking mad.
Like the military just guns.
Well,
them down.
they're kill him, and then it's like the pregnant woman is in the crosshairs, and his finger on the trigger. I'm like, don't, please, please,
this
fucking
is
don't.
actually. I forgot that this scene happened because I watched the movie 2 weeks ago. You're right. The ending. The dad dies, the train parks, and they walk to a military camp, and they have to walk through a dark train tunnel, and there are soldiers with guns fixed on them, and they think they're zombies. They're like, we're going to fucking blast them.
Yeah.
But the girl starts singing a song,
Yes.
and that's how they know, like, oh, they're human. And it comes down to, like, her childhood innocence wasn't quite crushed. Mm-hmm. Because in that moment, she didn't know what to do, so she just sang a song, such an innocent thing.
Well,
and that ended up kind of saving them.
The fucking movie starts with her supposed to sing that song, and she doesn't sing it.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
She does.
Dang.
She doesn't sing the song in her school performance.
She misses
then
her dad.
Later, she tells her dad, "You weren't there. I learned that song for you. You weren't there. I didn't sing it." Then that song ends up saving her life at the very end when she sings it in the train tunnel.
And her dad's
thus
dead.
wrapping it up, and her dad has died. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
They did a great job. I'm all for all of that. But I will say, I sat a little bit on the other end of the spectrum from that, Sean.
I knew you would.
I was watching it going, they ended this with such a touching moment. If right now these two get gunned down, I was going to die laughing. Just because it's like, gee, oh my God. If it was just, wait, what are those? I don't know. Blast them. If it went to credits on that, I would have died laughing.
I feel like it very easily could have.
Can I just say that's literally how Night of the Living Dead ends,
Mm-hmm.
which is like the first zombie movie. So
Yeah.
you can't do that. That's the classic ending.
That's what I was going to say, Derek, was as they're walking down the tunnel, I kept thinking, wasn't there a movie? I was searching my memories. I was like, wasn't there a movie? Maybe it was a zombie movie where
That happens,
they
yeah.
survive and they all get gunned down. That was going through my head. And I'm like, was it this movie I heard about? Oh, shit. And so I was fully prepared. Oh, my God, they're going to get mowed down. So I was kind of cracking up like, you're really going to do that? So, yeah, the way they went, it was like, it actually did surprise me quite a bit. But I was ready to laugh.
Bad guy. Evil.
There was a
Yes, but the movie would have been evil, and I was going to crack up at how, like, dude, you got a sweet ending.
There was a moment where the girl was crying, and she made a face while crying that Lennon makes. Like, I saw Lennon in that face, and I instantly was like, do not hurt that fucking kid. Do not hurt that girl. I was so like, I will hate this movie forever if you kill that girl. Anyways.
Well, there is a Train to Busan 2
Yeah.
being produced.
Well,
I don't know if it came out. Did it come out already?
it's a sequel called Peninsula.
Train out of Busan.
A sequel, Peninsula, was released in South Korea July 15th, 2020. I guess it's not a direct sequel because no one else is in this movie.
Oh, really?
But it's like the same universe, like
Peninsula.
Peninsula.
Maybe I misread. I thought Train to Busan 2 was a. But
Well,
maybe it's Peninsula.
let
Maybe I
me
just
tell
read it
you,
was a sequel.
they bought the rights to do Train to Busan in America, called Last Train to New York, and was being worked on until Warner Brothers scrapped all movies, and so that was one of them that is not being made anymore. But I honestly.
Fuck New York, dude. Why would you want to go a zombie outbreak and you want to go to the most populated
that's a
city
bad
in
idea.
America? How fucking dumb are you?
Go to like fucking.
How fucking dumb are you?
Yeah,
Go
that's what I'm
somewhere
saying.
nice.
Stop the train in the middle of nowhere and get me out there.
Heinous disease turning people man-eating monsters. I'm gonna go to New York City where that's already fucking happening on a daily basis, practically. Jungle in that city.
There are times that people buy the rights to like a foreign film and it's like, okay, whatever. But this to me is like this. Watch this movie.
Yeah.
You don't like if they remade Parasite for the U.S. Like, no, Parasite didn't need to be. No, it's fine. Like that was good.
Yeah.
Just watch that movie.
I think the idea of stealing, the era of stealing ideas from foreign films is over because.
It totally is.
We can watch the foreign films, and foreign films are just as good, if not better, than American films.
I thought the filmmaking, like even before the zombies showed up, I was like, this movie is shot really well. It looks great. The budget was only like $8.5 million. It was a small budget for what they were able to pull off. It's crazy.
But Derek, you're right. Derek, seriously, that era's over. The people behind these companies, I don't know if they're just old.
Yes.
Keep thinking.
Nobody's gonna know about this Korean movie.
I don't even think it's a matter of do they know about it or not. It's a foreign movie. We're gonna make a not foreign movie. Well, that'll be better for America.
Yeah.
It's over. Like people are like you were mentioning earlier. Fucking Squid Game was like one of the number one, maybe the number one show the year it came out.
Right.
That's over. When Parasite won Best Picture and the fucking director was like, get over the 1-inch barrier of subtitles.
Yeah.
See so much great stuff. I felt like that was the sea change.
Yeah.
Even leading up to that it was, but it's like that's over. So
And these Korean films, they're Korean films. They're from Korea.
Yeah.
They express a Korean culture.
Yes.
Which is interesting to see.
Yes, and
You should see it that way.
I'm only half joking when I say all great Korean films have a train, have class culture commentary, and involve a guy fighting his way out of a tight room because for whatever reason that resonates with the people of Korea.
Yeah. Every culture has something like that.
My point is America doesn't make a fuck ton of movies about trains. Because trains aren't really a big thing in America. But there's a lot of train movies,
But we like fucking superheroes.
that are awesome.
We're
Exactly.
categories.
And there's a lot of, classism that is covered as a topic in Korean films. And they always take these movies and they just do surface level, we'll trade out this for that. We'll switch this for that. So, Last Train to New York, I don't even know what the class division would be.
Well,
Be like California people versus
honestly,
New York people.
It'd be like Democrats versus Republicans or something stupid.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm kind of implying.
And honestly,
It'd be political.
Watch Train to Busan. I'm glad the movie was scrapped. Fuck that. We don't need that. We got it. This movie is great.
Actually, okay, a movie about hardcore Democrats and hardcore Republicans, and they're stuck on a train full of zombies, and they all die because they can't get along. That actually does sound like a pretty good movie. So,
Remember when there was a moment when Game of Thrones was wrapping up that people thought that the White Walkers are gonna end up being the allegory for environmental, how the warring governments are not paying attention to the environmental harm.
I did.
Stuff.
Yes, I remember that. That would have been better.
And then Arya killed.
That would have been better.
And then wait, I killed in one hit.
Yeah, Arya took out the whole army in 1 hour.
If the last shot of that show was what was the main White Walker's name?
Jake.
Thank you. If
King Jake.
If King Jake, the last thing is him sitting in the Iron Throne, and then it cuts to credits. That's a good show.
Or it just keeps
Dude.
going back further from him and it's all frozen.
Yeah.
Bro, the show was priming you that Bran was going to be that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
yes.
that's how the show was fucking setting itself up to end.
Yeah.
And then they just did a hard turn at the end. for with no logical explanation.
He did. Spoiler. We're spoiling another
He
thing.
did.
God
Oh, we're ruining everything.
damn it.
Sorry, guys.
Hitler dies at the end of Inglourious
Okay,
Bastards.
well, that was a
Let's
different
do
thing.
some popcorn shakes.
Okay. I'll start the shake. No, you start the shaking. You pick the movie, Derek. You shake it up first.
Okay. Honestly, this might be my favorite zombie movie. I think it might be the best one.
Yeah, I don't think you are either. I think it's also my favorite zombie
yeah.
movie.
And I like zombie movies, man. I like Return of the Living Dead. I like Dawn of the Dead, the original, the remake. You know, the only zombie movie thing I don't like is The Walking Dead. That's the only one I don't fuck with.
Dude.
I'll read the comic, but I'm not fucking with that show. Sorry.
This week, literally this Sunday. This is why I thought you picked this movie. Is this Sunday is
Oh, now I'll catch up.
tying it into that.
I really wasn't. I that is so not on my radar. I don't care.
It will be.
Every time I've tuned into that show, it is like so corny. It is the just most corny situation. I don't know. Just what I've seen.
I'm not going to go into it.
What I've seen.
I'm not going to go into it, but my family has always loved that show for whatever reason. I've seen most of it.
Yeah.
It really is like it doesn't feel like the show's wrapping up at all. They're just fighting another group of people and like, oh, we're beating those guys, but it doesn't feel like the show's wrapping up, and they keep announcing more spinoffs. So I feel like that show is going to end with just like, oh, they all split up. Anyway, watch these 3 shows.
Yeah. Jesus
I'm
Christ.
telling you, that's what they're going to do.
That's crazy.
That show it just kind of repeats things from other zombie movies, but it's all in one thing, all in one go. And it's
really
like,
feels like homage to a
yeah.
lot of things.
Train to Busan feels like, yeah, you probably expect it to be like that. And they take every moment where it could be like a traditional zombie movie and they just turn it on its head a little bit to make it, they spice it up, make it interesting. Yeah. I give it 4 shakers.
Yeah, I would, as I said before, if you told me to pick a zombie movie for you, I would recommend this one first. I would say watch this. This is great. I'm going to give it 4, and I can't believe I'm giving a zombie movie 4 shakers, but I really thought it was a great movie. Acting was great. Would I watch it again? Probably not, but I thought it was really good.
But if you went to a party and it was on, would you be mad?
Not at all.
No.
Not even a little bit. Yeah.
I object. I really want to give my stance and make it clear. I don't enjoy zombie stuff. Typically, again, if someone mentions, "Hey, watch this thing. It's a zombie thing," I'm going to be like, "Oh God!" Like, not that it shouldn't exist, but I am just like so spent on that.
Yeah.
This justifies their existence.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you do. Like this, I never thought like, "Wow, that was good, but a shame it had zombies." No, this justified the genre. And everything you said a minute earlier in the episode about all the themes it's juggling, none of them get in the way of each other. None of them are like, that was good, but a little heavy-handed on the anti-capital, or a little heavy-handed on that. They all, it's a perfect batch of all of that. Like,
Yeah.
4 from me.
Nice.
That's a pretty solid score.
And in terms of best zombie movie, I might pick this one too.
I think another reason why I praise this movie is it has a layer of wholesomeness to it, where other zombie movies, there's this attitude of, this is the dead and they've come back to life, dude.
What I mean.
We're gonna see blood, we're gonna see guts, and it just keeps going. We're gonna see tits, we're gonna say fuck. Yeah. You know, every zombie movie gets to a point where they just are cavalierly killing zombies. Like, haha, we've got a hold of the situation. Let's go fuck them up. This movie, there's no cursing, there's no raunchiness, there's no nudity. It's wow, this is a bad situation. I'm scared for my daughter. Like there's almost a wholesomeness to it.
There's even a part
But
where
it is extremely violent.
the bass up player and his girlfriend, like, she is bit and infected and dying, and he chooses to stay with her, and he's fucked. Like, he's going to die, but he's just crying and accepting it, and then she like dies, and then a second later bites his neck and kills him, and it's like, that was so heavy that he just made that decision to stick with her, even though he knew it was coming. Oh man.
So that's our rating for across the board. Check out Train to Busan. We all enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We're more concerned with the emotion of it and the emotional reality rather than, oh, wait to see this kill.
Yeah. Also, it's on YouTube for free. So
It was.
that's
why I watched
pretty
it.
sick.
It was a great quality. It was.
Yeah, really good.
It was officially put on there. It wasn't like some dude uploaded it.
Exactly.
It looked great. I watched it on big ass TV. It looked perfect.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Yep.
Anyway.
All right, Rocco, you have the next pick. What are we watching?
Okay. I hate to do this. I felt like we all really got along this episode. I feel like we had a lot of great things to bring to the table, great conversation. So I would hate to divide it. I would hate to throw a monkey wrench in the works, so to speak. But Derek, in an earlier episode, you shared something that I felt was very hurtful.
So you're gonna punish me
Oh,
today?
no.
Well,
Payback.
I just want to address it right now. There were, and Patreon, I don't want to get shut down on Patreon either, so I just want to address this now. There were crimes committed against Steve Martin on this show.
Oh my
I
God!
believe
Can
there-
I repeat my official stance on Steve Martin? He sucks. He's never
I
made.
love Steve
I want to
Martin.
get removed from the platform.
He's actually never made a funny movie.
Oh.
Actually, never.
What are you saying?
I can't think of a comedic actor who has a worse track record.
What the fuck?
I have more respect for Will Ferrell than
Will
Steve
Ferrell's-
Martin.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I have more respect for Andy Milonakis.
Okay, now you
Steve
fucked
Martin.
up. Now you fucked up.
So we get punish me by making me watch a bad Steve Martin movie. They're all bad.
This is
Ah.
it's like the classic example of when a kid complains about cigarette smoke, so you got to make him smoke the whole pack.
Yeah, okay.
We're gonna do a Martin marathon.
Listen, we're gonna dive headfirst into Steve Martin gold,
Okay.
and because it's just that right time. Because when it comes to Christmas movies, there's a ton of Christmas movies. When it comes to movies about Valentine's Day, there's a million.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? When you're dealing with Thanksgiving, there's the one grand monarch Thanksgiving film, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. We're gonna watch it.
I've never seen that movie.
Movie Club. Well, guess what? When it
I'm-
comes to Thanksgiving cinema,
I'm excited about this one. It's John Candy, right?
there
Dude.
can only be one.
Is it John
You
Candy?
know who's even less funny than Steve Martin?
Don't say John
John
Candy. No.
Candy.
Eric, no. What?
I'm turning this fucking thing off.
God
Wow.
damn it.
Well, let me get a plane, train, and automobile to Busan out of here.